Hey guys, this is Corey here. I wanted to start this out. I put a feeler out for a bunch of people to see if they were interested in kind of doing a talk about my tank series, and so I figured I'd tee it off here, be the first one to go. So what you're looking at here is my 75 gallon, basically Star Sapphire, Phoenochilius Tanzania Star Sapphire, better known as Star Sapphire cichlid tank. I have my two male breeders as well as two female breeders. Unfortunately, I lost three of the female breeders in this group, so I have a few females I'm going to be introducing here. But I really haven't wanted to shake it up too much because, as you can see on the left-hand side, there are consistently, these two females are producing and the males are producing consistent fry that I'm always have eggs tumbling. So I don't want to stir it up too much, but a little bit about this fish. This is one of my favorite fish. They are basically closely related to the deepwater hap and the Maduku white lips. They're part of that Placidochromis family. I know I said that wrong, but basically they come from, as far as the area they come from Lake Malawi in Eastern Africa, but they will get about 10 inches, so they're a little bit on the bigger side. But what I love about this fish is they are very tolerant and non-destructive of a planted tank. As you see, I got some Anubias in there. I have some Vale. I always forget the name of this thing here. It's Mysterious. I forget. I always buy it whenever I find it from the Arringtons. They always seem to have it in stock, and it's one of the plants that really do well in all my tanks. I also have a little Autosynclus in this tank, as well as a breeding pair of regular bristlenose plecos. They're not very aggressive when it comes, as far as cichlids are concerned, so very easy to keep. You know, the only aggression comes from when they're really trying to breed. Another thing I really like about these guys are, as you can see here, this is the dominant male. He's hiding back here. Female, that's the subdominant male, and there's another female in there. They will get those chips. So they pretty much, about 2 to 3 inches, the males really start to become a real vibrant blue. And then once they get to about 4 inches, they start to get what's called these chips, these little metallic speckles on them. And as they get older, they get more and more. They continue to grow these speckles. So as they get older, they just get absolutely beautiful. I don't know if the camera's picking it up, but they just continue. That's why they're one of my favorite. I mean, they remind me, it's the prettiest blue that you can see on a fish, and the size of them. What's nice too is you can have 4 or 5 of them in a 75 gallon. Have it really nicely planted. You just got to be careful with some of the plants, but you got some hardy plants, that are rooted into the substrate. They're going to be fine. They're going to leave them alone. They like the hiding. One of the things I have in this tank this is on purpose. I have a lot of the planting going on here, but then this area over here, as you see, this is the breeding ground. So I always leave in my cichlid tanks this area here open, so that they can do their dance and drop the eggs, and the male can fertilize the eggs and the female can pick them back up. And then the mothers, the females will mouth brood them. I typically try to pull the eggs personally very soon as I see them holding, which is usually in a day or two. The reason being is, for me, they breed sooner again. The females stay a little healthier because they're eating right off the bat. And I tend to have a better successful hatch with those eggs. So, I mean, that's my personal preference in that. These guys have produced hundreds and hundreds of fish for me, but I absolutely love them. Like I said, what's nice is with this big, I don't know if you can see this big piece of driftwood here. It's kind of all over. Well, it gives a good space down here for the females to hide, as well as up here the females can hide, especially if they're holding or they just want to get away and the males wanting to spawn. It's a nice area for them to kind of get away. But I really do enjoy this tank. This is kind of right next to the end of the fish room, next to the TV. So when I'm sitting on the opposite end, opposite of this tank over there, I get a view and I can just watch these guys. And I specifically put them there for that reason. As far as care, pretty easy. 78 degrees. I keep it in. I have 2 sponge filters. And then up here I have a hang on the back marine land. And then also what I have, I'll show you here, is I have some bamboo that I have planted inside the hang on the back to just for some extra filtration, and to keep the, you know, the total dissolved solids lower than what it would normally be, help, you know, filter out. So I got kind of a biological, I got a mechanical, as well as, you know, the plants throughout the tank and substrate and the rocks and the wood. So, you know, it's a very easy tank to care for. It does, you know, I do 50% water changes once a week on these guys. The eggs you're seeing here, I just have these guys in a Zist tumbler. Let's see if I can get in a little closer. And just enough to keep them moving, not rocking or, you know, riding the waves or anything like that, just kind of hanging out there. In a few weeks, then they will be basically forming and eating off the egg sac, which would then I move them into a 10 gallon and then into the 55 to kind of grow out. So, but yeah, I truly, see if these guys, if I can get this male out here, without being shy, but they're absolutely beautiful. The females, I like the females because the females, they don't get the chips. I've seen females with the chips. Some of the females I do have in one of my other breeder tanks for the Sapphire does have some chips on it. It's not uncommon. One of the things that I would stress on these guys is they are prone to what's called a gas turbidity, which is basically little science here for you. When you introduce colder water, it's going to hold more oxygen, and what it can do is it can actually, you know, introduce ultra small bubbles that can enter the body of the fish, and you can kind of see it in the fins. But what I've noticed in this species is the eyes. I have a female in here that the bubbles actually ended up in the eye, and it looks like there's an eye infection. Almost, there's just, it can almost look like Popeye, but it's actually just fine bubbles in the eye, and in some cases it can cause them to lose the eye. But I don't. Let me see if I can show you. I have this male here, the subdominant male. He's the second back one here. This guy here. He has it in his eye. It's not bad. It's diminished over time. He still has the use of the eye, but I learned the hard way with it. Is true. You know. So what I try to do is I will acclimate the water. Make sure, you know, now not so much as before, but if you're doing water change, especially in this area during the winter, and you're not getting the water temperature up, or you know, dumping the water in quick with a high pressure hose that's introducing a lot of air, oxygen into that, you can run into that risk. So I would try to stay away from that. But other than that, let's see, there's not much more to it. I enjoy this tank. Like I said, it's a 75 gallon. Phenochilus Tanzania, otherwise known as the Star Sapphires. Alright guys, thanks for watching. Look forward to everyone. I really encourage everyone to post the video You don't have to have a fish room. You don't, you know, just show us what you got. That's kind of the fun part about being in the fish club and the group, is to share. And I see a lot of you guys, and it would be neat to see what you guys are keeping and so forth. So please share. I hope this is a hit and takes off. I'm really curious to see other people's projects. All right, thanks for watching. Bye bye.